Hi, my name is Jeremy Hensel, and today I'm going to be adding an adjustable fuel screw to my 2006 WR250. First, you need to locate the fuel screw. You're going to start by locating the float bolt on the bottom of the carburetor. By placing a small mirror underneath the carburetor, we can see that there's a cap covering the opening to my fuel screw. I'm going to need to first remove this cap to gain access to the fuel screw before we can remove it. Oftentimes the dealer will have already removed this for you, so it may or may not be there. On my WR, the dealer removed the plug in the bottom of the carburetor, so I didn't rotate the carburetor, I just removed it the way it was. I stuck the screwdriver in without being able to see and pulled the screw out. It worked fine. On my wife's though, they did not remove the plug, so I tried to pull it out by inserting a screw and yanking it out, but I couldn't get a great angle on it. So we're going to need to rotate that carburetor about a quarter turn to get better access to it. This is probably hard to see, but I'm going to loosen up the collar that connects it to the air box on the back using a drill. I'm going to release this hose clamp and just move this hose out of the way. After that, I'm going to loosen the hot start plunger, which is a black plastic cap on the front of the carb here. Loosen it with a pair of needle nose pliers and then unscrew it. After I loosen the hot start, I'm just going to remove it and move it away from the carburetor. If you don't have your AIS system removed, you're going to need to unbolt the pump right here from the frame and move it out of the way. Once you unbolt the AIS, just pull it out a little bit and move it down so you can rotate the carburetor. We've removed those couple things. You should be able to push the carburetor and rotate it. Now that we've got it rotated, I'm going to try and insert a screw into the metal cap and pull it out. Once you insert the screw, you should be able to use a pair of pliers, apply a little bit of pressure, and remove the plug that's in the bottom of the hole for the fuel screw. Now that we've got the plug out, you can use either an eyeglass screwdriver or any very, very small screwdriver. Insert it into the hole and find the factory fuel screw. You want to turn the screw in deeper until it sets. Keep count of how many turns you have just so you know what the factory setting was. Once you have that, you can pull the screw out. When you pull the factory fuel screw out, there's a few things you're going to need to keep track of. The spring that was on the screw, the small washer that goes right on top of the spring, and then the small O-ring that goes on top of the washer in that order. The O-ring may get stuck and not come out. What I've done on my bikes is insert the new fuel screw, screw it up in and pull it out a couple times, and the O-ring usually comes out on it. Now you're going to take the new adjustable fuel screw you bought, insert the spring over it. After you have the spring on it, you want to put the washer on next. And lastly, place the O-ring on top. The fuel screw I bought has a small O-ring down lower on the fuel screw so it can't rattle free when you're using it, but it also does make it hard to push in. You may need to put a little bit of grease around that O-ring to really get it to slide up in. Once you get it in, screw it down till it's tight. Once it's screwed in, I like to make a little mark so it's easy to tell how far you screw it in and out. Now just screw it out to your factory setting. It's time to put it back together. Replace your hot start. Once you've replaced the hot start, replace the hose clamp to hold this air hose in place. Then we need to replace the AIS pump, tighten down the clamps a little bit, and we're done. After doing this modification to my wife's bike and my bike, I've found out that this is one of those modifications that can be extremely easy or be a real pain in the butt. So hope this video helps and good luck.